Hey, y'all. Happy Wednesday. So, look, I'm not going to do the usual quip coming in because we finna just get into this. This episode might have to be broken down into part 2, 3, 4, 5. Because, listen, Dayna decided that we was finna come in here and break some hearts and upset some. We're calling people to come and sit down. So, if you saw the title, is Are You Being Sold a Lie? If you don't know, part of all three of our businesses is a part of the network marketing model. We're with Young Living. If you can see Andriana's cup, we love Young Living. We're not here to talk specifically about Young Living, but we're here to talk about network marketing and the lies that people feel like people like us in the industry are selling you. But no, the conversation we're about to have is those people are lying to you about the lies they think we're telling you. Dayna found an article, y'all, and, and we're finna kind of go down this article and just talk about little things. If you wrote this article, honey, and you hear, you need to come talk to us, baby, because this thing got me and heck got my butt itching, y'all. So we're finna just break it down. If you get upset about this, then maybe you need to hit one of us up and just talk because, listen, like they say, there is always one bad apple in the bunch. It does not make everybody else rotten. As long as you ain't leaning up against that rot, you not rotten too. So we finna get into this. It's gonna be a great conversation. I promise you. If you've ever been on the fence about being a part of network marketing, MLM, direct selling, social selling, whatever you want to call it, even affiliate marketing, this would be a really great conversation. We would love to hear your thoughts on any of the things that we talk about in the comments. If you miss catching this live, make sure to stop you from having to scroll through a million of our posts, go over to the YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and share this out because this is about to be a heated but an amazing conversation. All right, so we're just gonna get into it. The very first lie that she feels like she is exposing on this article was you will own your own business. So Dayna read this out. So I'm gonna let Dayna talk on this first. But it had me so annoyed. I had to go find the definition of a small business, a small business owner, y'all. And it just we'll get into that in a minute. So go ahead, Dayna, kick us off. You will own your own business. She is saying this is a lie.
Yeah, I love this one. I love this one because to Tameka's point, I think first and foremost, what? But even before we really dig into that, I do want to say this. There is good and there is bad in everything, right? Point blank, period, right? There are people out there that's doing it no justice and they are doing it wrong. And I'm going to just put that blanket statement out there. Just like there's some doctors out here straight killing folks, right? And there's doctors that really are honing in on their skills and doing an amazing job at it. So at the end of the day, you're not going to stop going to the doctor, right? So I think it's first and foremost unfair because you see a lot of people that have done it really bad and really wrong, and then say, well, that is the blanket statement for this whole industry, right? First and foremost, that's just unfair. Okay. So if you are one of those people that you're like just blanket statement, you can't see anything but black and white, you can probably click off and move on anyways, because nothing that we talk is going to hit anyways. First and foremost, talking about being a small business, right? And I love that Tameka looked up the definition because let's be real, okay? If we are going to pick hairs on what makes somebody a small business and not a small business and this and the other, get out, right? Because it don't make sense, right? First and foremost, because many of you guys know my story, Young Living is a piece and a tool that plays into what I do. And I'd like to use it very similar to how many people out there go to a chiropractor? How many people go to a chiropractor? Most of your chiropractors in the industry, right? They service you, right? But they also, many of them get into nutrition. A lot of them also get into supplements because the actual chiropractic field works better when it's complemented by what you're doing on a daily basis, right? So when you go into your chiropractor, did you ask your chiropractor, hey, so these supplements that you're recommending to me, did you formulate these? Where did you go in the lab and you created these supplements, right? Nobody's gonna do that. And then if you did do that, you wouldn't be like, oh, I don't know if you actually own this practice. you didn't actually make these pills, right? In fact, you might be a little more skeptical if you were like, oh yeah, we actually in the back are just mixing up some pills and just handing you pills, right? You'd be like, these people are nuts and these people are crazy, right? So why does that change if I am a distributor or what a brand partner with Young Living, right? And I say this is the supplement. Why all of a sudden am I not a small business owner? Even though this chiropractor over there is still a small business owner, right? Because they're in a practice. It doesn't make sense. If you have a product or you have something, even again, let's say you have a storefront, right? You don't create everything in that storefront, and yet you are still a small business. Most people would have to go through other companies. Now you're strategic about your company, right? And you have say on, hey, this is the business that I'm going to partner with, and this is what I'm going to showcase in my store. But it would be silly to think, oh, because you didn't formulate that lotion, it's not your small business. Oh, because you didn't create that hair stuff, it's not your small business. It's just as much your small business as it is anybody else out there in the industry. And so to me, for that to be your reason, oh, you're not really a small business owner because you're in an MLM and there's a corporation that you're getting distribution for, have your stuff come from China. Where you getting your stuff from? Where you getting your stuff you distributor, right? With your small business. Let's be real. Let's be real. That's my first and foremost. I have more, but I don't. That to me is the strongest. Like, this sounds silly. Let's be real. Y'all take it away.
I just wanted to come in behind that. And you speaking, all three of us, yes, we're in Young Living. We use the same Young Living products, but we all three have very different small businesses. I run a doula business. Dayna's all about health, hair care, and beauty, and Tameka is about taking care of yourself. It's a small business. I don't care how you slice it, dice it, whichever way you present it. Yes, we're still using the same stuff. I'm not in the lab with Young Living Sciences making these oils and supplements, but I do help my clients use them during birth and pregnancy because, I mean, that's how I decided to run my business. So, ma'am, whoever wrote this article, go find you some business, okay? And maybe you need to sniff on something. I got something for you, okay? That's all I got to say because, I mean, I'm over here shaking because I'm mad.
Y'all know this is the topic. If Andriana came out the gate in 8 minutes, because it don't never happen. If you've watched any of our episodes, we have to call Andriana out. She didn't need no coaxing today. I don't know what y'all did. But the only props that I will give this person is that she called it you own your own business. She didn't call MLM small business owners. So I'll give her props to that because this is big business. But I want to, just before I give my own opinion, I want to give you this definition. So when Dayna was reading it, I was like, wait a minute. What, before I say something stupid, what's the definition of a business owner running a business? And I put in small business because a lot of people that work network marketing or businesses from home, they consider themselves small business. So the first one that pops up, and this will get you to, it's to realize, stop saying small. So the IRS considers a small business as somebody who is making less than 10 million, right? So Census Bureau has it defines small business by firm revenue ranging from 1 million to over 40 million and by employment from 100 to 1,500. So that's like statistical. That to me sounds massive. Like if I've got 1,500 people running behind me, I'm not small, okay? There's nothing small about that. But the one that tickled me because, let me see if I can find it. Dayna was reading it out to us, and she was saying that people who are in network marketing, MLMs, they can't be business owners because they don't have any say in all the things that go on. They don't have say in how products are distributed. They just are what you say, Dan? They're contractors, right? They are contractors of the bigger company. So a small business is defined as a business that has limited number of employees, typically fewer than 500, and operates independently of larger corporations. So that's my first, come sit down and let's have a conversation, sweetie, because doesn't make any sense. And then you go a little further and it says an entrepreneur or a small business owner is generally defined as an individual who creates, organizes, and manages an enterprise with considerable initiative. So I know it's like, okay, but it says enterprise, Tameka. That must mean something else, right? Well, what's an enterprise? It's a project or undertaking, typically one that is difficult or requires effort. That's it. This is not easy, right? What we do is not easy. And I'm not saying that being in business is not easy. I think we've said it probably the last 4 episodes. Stop pushing people into running businesses because it's not easy. And people are going to jail because they're getting these PP loans and doing all this. It's not easy. It is hard. Like we have had over the last, just within our specific, very small culture, if you will, of network marketing, have taken some massive hits. And it's articles like this that make it freaking worse. Like, okay, what I want to say is like, I want to psychoanalyze her and say, baby, you have been hurt. The industry has done something to you. I don't know what it was, but that's just not, like, you run a business. Like Dayna said, like, y'all don't come after Target. You ain't calling the Target of the street, not a business. Does Target has its own brand, but did Target's people, whatever, actually make that? Or did they purchase it from somebody, put their brand name on it, and call it their store's brand, right? It does, like Dayna said, y'all got to make this make sense. It does not make sense. Like, understand what it means to be a business owner. That definition, that when I read definition, I was like, Dayna, look, we have to go in on Lil Mama on this one, because that don't make no sense. Right? Like, come on. Like Dayna said, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Can I also so there was another portion that she had talked about in here where I will say this. So again, why I do think it's important that should you use a multi-level marketing company, you should also be very aware. And this isn't just multi-level marketing, any company that you partner with. Mm-hmm. You should be very aware of their procedures, protocols, and compliance, right? Yes. And so one of the things she did say in the article, she said, you have the corporate part of the company telling you what you can and can't say when promoting products, dictating which rank you are in the company. She also mentioned they can fire you at any time, right? Mm-hmm. So again, doesn't matter what company you partner with, all of these things are still true. So even if I didn't choose a multi-level marketing company, I'm going to go back to, I have a store and I want to distribute, I'm sorry, what is near me? I'm in an office. So I want to distribute, pencil sharpeners. This is the company that makes the pencil sharpeners. They're going to have different stipulations, what you can and cannot say about that product, because they're the ones that created it. Right now, if I start saying that this pencil sharpener can make you fly, and when you have it in your car, like you can drive off mountains, right? Of course, they're going to sue me. Mm-hmm. Of course, they're going to come off from me like, what? Well, actually, that's not the intent of that product. And so that's not true, right? So it only makes sense that a company, especially when you're dealing with like supplements or you're dealing with something you're going to put in your body, is also, because from a legal standpoint, right? If I say I represent and I'm selling this product, if from a legal standpoint, I start making claims that are untrue, they might come after me, but they're really going to come after where I'm getting the distribution from, right? Because it's their responsibility to make sure that I'm trained properly, so people aren't just in the streets making all types of claims and doing things. Mm-hmm. Now, a word of caution, if you are in your kitchen and you are mixing up, and this is no diss to anyone doing it, your own little body butters, and you're adding stuff to it, and you're making claims about what it can do, right? to me, that's a more dangerous space to be in than a company that has done the research because they have the money to do so. They have gotten things cleared through the government. They have gotten cleared through certain things. So now that covers me when I start selling it, as well as it covers them. So to me, you can say that's a negative, but I think that's the most positive thing that could be happening in our country, because to me, there's things on your shelves that they are not disclosing to you of what is in it, whereas they are on the butts of these companies that are doing it as we're the distributors, right? That's why there's so many lawsuits. But at the end of the day, and we're not going to go down this rabbit hole, I want you to look at a lot of major corporations like your Amazons, like your Whole Foods, like ones that you know, love, and like. And I want you to Google how many lawsuits have been against those companies, right? And it'll blow your mind, right? You could spend all day long on all of these like we respect, we use, we love, and all of the different things that have come out of there. So to me, this is a safety net, right? And again, there might be people that are watching. Everybody has their side of the story. But for the most part, looking on the outside, even when I'm listening to the defense of a lot of these people that have been let go from certain companies, the companies tried to work with them. They're like, hey, so you can't say that this cures that. You can't say these things, right? Like, can we clean that up? Can we talk about it? There were conversations that happened. And even for myself, I've had conversations where I know they were just trying to clean up certain things so that we all can be safe, so that the consumer can be safe, whoever's watching you, so that I can be safe and my business is safe, and wherever I'm getting this distribution. So I'm sorry, before we moved on to the next one, I didn't want to just kind of push that one in there too, because I love that she said that as a negative. And I'm like, really? Because I don't know if you've ever used Jergens or any of these other brands on they're not disclosing a whole lot of stuff that you probably need to know. Okay.
But I mean, and just to your point, before we do move on, because we'll be here all day, y'all, it's nitpicking of words. Like I think this is where we as people have to, instead of emotionally getting invested, because I'm emotionally invested in this article, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. But we emotionally get invested in words, right? So I mean, the title of this article, or what do you call it? Opinion piece, was the 11 biggest MLM lies exposed. So if you see that, first of all, the word MLM already triggered you, right? You were like, you got in your feelings, either negative or positive, and then you saw lies and exposed, and now you like, baby, I gotta click on this, right? I need to read this. So it triggered you to click it, and I mean, she's getting paid off of you click it. It's giving her all kinds of things going on, right? But it's nitpicking of words. Like Dayna brought out, she was saying that you can be fired at any moment. Okay, well, the government can come in and shut you down. That's being fired. I don't care what business you are in. Just because the words "you are fired" or "we're letting you go" or "you are relieved," like, the government can come in and shut your business down and you are fired. You got to start over the same way. So it's just a nitpicking of words. Like, we can go through this. And like Dayna said, you don't get to choose, what you say because their company tells you. Well, that's not true either. That's the FDA and the FTC and all these other places that are telling them, look, we're going to control you, like Dayna said, more than we're going to control these other places, because you've got an army of people and we want to make sure we keep everybody in line. So it's nitpicking of words. Like Dayna said, some of it is like more positive than negative. And for anybody considering it, it's a great option to me, because I don't have to be responsible for millions of dollars worth of stock. Like, I get to separate myself and focus on the things that I want to. I do get to choose what I sell. She said we don't get to choose what we sell. I do get to choose what I sell. Like Andriana pointed out, she is a doula. Dayna says she's oily hair boss, but I haven't heard Dayna talk about hair stuff in a really long time. But Dayna talks about neuromarketing and different ways to do marketing. And she talks about ways you can partner essential oils with that. So she chooses what she sells. Now, do her customers maybe go off and buy other things that she didn't expressly talk to them about? Sure, of course. But she chose what she positioned in front of you. That's a choice. I talk a whole lot about self-care and the things that have helped me using these products. It's a choice. I'm not selling you 600 products. There is no way on God's green earth that that's going to happen. So it still is a choice. Again, it's a nitpicking of words. Moving on, because we can keep going. Number 2, she said, and I gotta find it, y'all, because I was scrolling all over this when Dayna was talking. Number 2 was that she said, y'all, she talked a whole lot before she got to her questions, and I made the mistake and went up. Okay, so number 2 is network marketing is a great opportunity to make money. So remember, her bullet points are all going to be what she perceives as lies. So let's talk about it. The very first little paragraph that she puts out is the way that network marketers talk. You'd think that network marketing was a great way to make money, whether you want to make $1 million or just have a lucrative side hustle. And she said, however, after spending 15 years studying over 350 network marketing companies, somebody with a PhD and an MBA found that when you take into consideration how much people spend in their MLMs, 99.6% of people in MLM companies lose money. So let's talk about it.
I'm sorry, I had to find my unmute button. I'll read right along with you. And in losing money, I want to ask those 99.6% of people, did they have a legit business model going in? Because I feel like some people see network marketers as like, oh, well, they're making this look easy. I can make this much money too. But not seeing the behind the scenes work of what it takes. Because like Tameka mentioned earlier, it takes work. It's actually a job. So with those 99.6% of people, did they have a business model? Did they have business coaching? Because I know I didn't. And I'm still out here trying to find my way 5 years later because I didn't know anything about business. But luckily, I got linked up with people to teach me about business. I mean, I'm just curious for you ladies. I know Dayna had a brick and mortar business before, but was it tough getting started? Well, Tameka, you got a degree. I guess I'm the only one. I don't know. Was it tough for y'all to get started just because like, oh, well, I know I can make money from this. Let me go make money. What was y'all's plan?
So I'll say for me, my strategy, I'll just say, I didn't leave my job until I had enough to know that if everything failed, I could still survive. And what I mean by that is I stayed at the spot that I worked and I stacked money and I stacked money and I stacked money way longer than I would have liked to do so. I was done with them probably 2 years before I actually left because I knew in general, I'll say I've learned a lot, obviously, that businesses are not profitable in the beginning. Like it's not a job. It's not like you clock in, you make this, and that's what it is. And so for me, I wanted to have that. If all my ideas are the worst, can I still invest in all the things that I need? Can I still maintain and pay all the things I need to pay with what I have saved and what's over here? That was super, super important to me because I went in knowing that I could fail. Now, granted, at the time, I probably didn't know that most businesses fail for 5 to 10 years. I probably had more of a cushion of maybe I could survive a year, right? But there's also other things that I would say for small businesses in general, because to me, I sit with the rest of y'all small business, whether you want to call my MLM, whatever, or what I also feel like this is where people get loans or people get grants or people think about all these other things, because regardless, I think it's a lack of knowledge to just go in thinking that I'm immediately going to make some money and this is my source of income. And if this fails, I don't eat. I think that's a dangerous place to be. Have people succeeded in that? Sure. But the statistics of it, to me, I wouldn't put myself in that space because it seems a little dangerous to me. So hopefully that kind of answers your question.
I'll answer the question first since Dayna did, and then we'll talk about this crazy lady. So going into this, I don't want anybody to take this like, oh, I'm higher. No, when I went into this, I truthfully, hand over heart, right hand to the man, whatever, however y'all do. It wasn't about money for me. Like I truthfully was a mother who had a baby who did not sleep, that gave me 2 kids. I'm somebody who loves sleep. I've said it before. Sleep and I had an amazing relationship, and that child came between that relationship. He just is an awful sleeper, and even to this day, like, he has the craziest sleeping habits. I love my baby to death, but I was running on E, and somebody was like, hey, and I was going on, at this point, he was, I don't know, 15 months maybe. Like, I legit was almost 2 years of like not sleeping. And somebody was like, here, come to this party, class, whatever you guys want to call it. I heard this thing. And at this point, I was willing to try anything. Then this thing worked. And I had to tell everybody, the same way you need to tell us to go try this steak or this vegan restaurant or wear these spandex or wear this body shaper. It's the same way that I felt about what I was using this thing, because I had talked to way too many mamas that was like, I'm not sleeping, but it's okay. It's not okay. I'm here to tell you it's not okay. So when I started it, it was merely because I was like, look, I jumped into this thing very, very ignorant. I looked over our comp plan. Like, I knew what I needed to do structurally in order for this to work. And I also knew where I felt like, oh, this would be a great amount of money to make, right? But like Dayna, I had left a job because we moved overseas, and I had saved because I knew we were leaving because my husband was deployed and we already had the orders. So I knew that I wasn't going right back to work, and I had saved. So going into this mentally, it wasn't like, okay, this year I'm about to make $15,000 a month and, X, Y, and Z. So I didn't go into this like Dayna. I didn't go into it with a strategy. Andriana brought up, I have a marketing degree. So I was here for all the marketing things, which I feel like is null and void because I've done no training. Because at this point, we don't market the same way we did when I got my degree back in 2010. But it's like, I didn't have those strategies. I learned along the way, but that's also how I learned. So I'm more like, let's fall flat on the face. No, that didn't work. Let's go. So I'm okay with that. That when I came into it, it wasn't like she's saying people lose money. I mean, of course I've lost money. Dayna's pointed out that most business owners lose money in the beginning. Like brick and mortars, you're in the red for quite a while. And if you're not, you're truly blessed in that situation. But, I just didn't. And I've learned the hard way. And I think that's why I always start these things by saying it takes hard work. Like, I would believe that the people that you hear saying, I made $10,000 a month in 6 months, that's not the standard. That legit is the unicorn at the end of the rainbow that you're chasing. That rarely, you hear it everywhere because we're pushing out. I won't say forcing. We're putting out their agenda because we're so in awe of it. So you see it a lot, but it's not the standard, right? It's the anomaly. It's not the standard in this. So I don't feel, yeah. I didn't go into this with one, but I have one now. But I think all the stupid mistakes that I've made have made me better for it now. But speaking to her, now we're finna get back into the drama of the thing, even though it shut me out. She made a comment that when you think about the way network marketing is designed, this makes, oh no, y'all, I lost it. Yeah. When you think about the way that network marketing is designed, this makes total sense when you have a business model that involves actively recruiting your own competitors, oversaturating the market, no base pay, and fees to join and participate. The only money to be made in the MLM scheme is at the top and in that 0.4%. So, first of all, this paragraph really like puts me in the frame. She's been hurt. She did network marketing or MLM at some point, and wherever she was with, there was some shady stuff. Because first of all, the network marketing scheme, as she keeps calling it, does not tell you to actively recruit your competitors. That is, like Dayna said in the beginning, that is what people have done. That has labeled this as like some women with knives running around after each other, stabbing each other in the back. That's what is created. But nowhere within our company and organization is that taught. It's actually one of the things Dayna brought up about PMP that you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to do that. If you jump ships, you got to leave all of us alone, right? Like you sink on your own, so to speak. So that's not true. That is a lie within this lie she thinks she is debunking. The market isn't oversaturated, because that would just be like saying the market is oversaturated with cars. I mean, Dayna literally lives in the mecca of cars. That would be like her saying, we are oversaturated with cars. Like, stop buying cars. That doesn't make sense. Like, that just doesn't make sense. That does not math, and we're not going to go there because we will legit be here all day long. And then to say fees to join and to participate. That's not the case with Young Living. Actually, even when I started, I never felt like what it was then when you had to buy a bundle was a huge undertaking. Like, that's how I would have purchased it anyway, because I got more for the amount of money that I spent. But Young Living has evolved to the point that you can literally become a part of any of our team, family, whatever the ladies call their organizations, and literally spend $6. And then you have access to all the resources within our teams and our communities, everything, by simply buying a lip balm, or just by creating your free account, because that makes that tethers you, if you will, to Dayna and her expertise, or Andriana and her expertise. So I know of MLM companies that require you to pay a fee monthly. I don't pay a fee monthly to do what I do, or to even just use the products. So
yeah, just if we can tap in just a little bit, she had made a comment talking a little bit about they sell you that we make money off of, the purchase of the products, but they really make the money off of the recruiting. Again, as we mentioned in the beginning of this, are there companies that do this bad? Absolutely, right? I can't speak on any of those, right? Like, just like when someone asks me about another oil company, I can't tell you anything. What I know is what is happening with why I researched and why I dealt with the company that I deal with, right? So even when it comes to our comp plan, even when it comes to how we are paid, right? There's a lot of adjustments that a lot of people got angry about as we moved in the last few years, and that's why they left, right? Because we have evolved and continue to evolve in order to improve the clarity on this. That it's like, this is a business, right? If you are not, you can have it as a business. Not everybody that is in there, right, is doing the business. But if you want to build this as a business, you need to operate like a business, right? You need to educate yourself on these products so that you can educate other people on the products, to allow them to make educated decisions on their buying patterns, right? And so when you do that, it actually creates a more sustainable business for you. So what happened with a lot of people, right, is because they had this shark mentality and they're like, recruit, 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 recruit. What happens when all these people that you recruit see another shiny item and go over to that? Do you still have a business, right? So the reality is, and statistically, again, we're not going to dig too deep into it, our company, our percentages when it comes to those who purchase products versus choose to be brand partners and do the business is such an extreme gap that the reality is you can see we have legit products that work. More of our people say, hey, if I never made a dime on any of this, I would still purchase my Young Living products. This is a conversation with I have with people on my team all the time. They're like, maybe I'm not doing the business, but I can't leave without my thieves, right? Maybe I'm not doing the business, but when my blah, 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 blah was going through treatments, this is what sustained them, Ninja Red, right? I've been having hormonal this or that or other going on. I'm still getting surgery, but this is what sustained me, right? That's not happening in most companies. And so to Tameka's point earlier, right, she came in because she needed her son to go to sleep, right? So as you evolve with other things, whether you ever share it with anybody, if it's a quality company, if it's a quality product, it doesn't matter how many people badmouth it. It doesn't matter how the structure of all these other logistics are. It's going to sustain the time because it is a good product and a good company. And that's what Young Living has done. I can't speak on other companies. I can't speak on other products, but I have been using Young Living oil since I was a little girl. Okay. So we're talking 20 some years. It has still remained as good quality as in the beginning. And so to me, when you say, well, people aren't making money, what statistics are you reading for this? Is this people that are trying to make money? Or is this people that are actually using the products? Because when you put all of those people in the same pool and say, well, this is how money is being distributed, it's only going to this percentage of the people. Well, are you talking about the percentage of the people that just want healing for their family? Are you talking about the percentage that just are like, actually, I just want to cover some groceries? Because you can't group those same people in small business owners that are running businesses because they have completely different goals when it comes to how they're purchasing.
I just wanted to speak to Dana's point of when using the recruiting the people comes into play, like the article says. I've recruited like everybody in my circle that I know. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody. I'm talking about elementary school on up to my adulthood life that I've come into contact with. And maybe 10 people have actually enrolled, so to speak, with me. So, I mean, I ain't get paid on recruiting those hundreds of people that I already knew. I didn't get that. So, ma'am, you that wrote this article, I don't think you was talking about Young Living. I hope you wouldn't. But I just implore you to try another one and then come back with an updated version of this article so we can find out how they did. Okay.
So she's not talking about Young Living because I got to the bottom, but we're not gonna have to have a whole other episode unless y'all bombard us with comments and questions, and then we'll do like a Q&A type episode, because I went through the last ones. In the end, kind of brings it to a great wrapping up point. So a lot of the points that she makes after this are really to the point of what Dayna said about, there are bad apples. There are people, we don't blame every Walmart for, the indiscretions of one, right? We don't come after one CEO for doing something in a major corporation. They get rid of them, and then you still love the company because at its roots, you love it, right? So a lot of things that she goes on to nitpick are things that are individual between the person you dealt with, like customer service. Like, you can't be mad at the customer service rep because they had poor customer service, but you can't blame the whole company. Like, you might say y'all need better training. If it seems to be a company standard, then that's a whole other issue, right? But it's not it at its core. But the last thing that I think we should touch on is the fact that she mentioned things like incentives. In this, she said that Young Living, you can't earn a car. So I'm going to put that out there. But there are network marketing businesses where there is an incentive at a certain point when you've earned a certain amount of, you brought in a certain amount of sales, that you can earn a vehicle. And her next point after that was talking about, making passive income and, how, you can earn these things, but if you don't hit the next rank or you don't maintain it, you lose it and there's nobody there to help you. That sounds like a business to me. Like, you can make $1 million in 1 month, but if you say, oh, you know what, that was fine. So I'm not going to continuously open 5 days a week for the same hours. I'm only going to open at 1 because I've made $1 million and I'm good and I'm going to walk away. You are still responsible for doing what you need to do, right? Like, you don't have to take the incentives. Young Living offers some amazing trips, just, for rank. When you get to what we consider is the top rank, as she keeps saying, the 0.4% or whatever, yearly you go on a trip. And she maintains that they're not free because you're given the car payment or you're given the money to pay for the trip. Well, it has to go somewhere, because you're going to hold the company liable for all of that. That's a tax thing that we're not going to talk about. But you don't have to go. You don't have to go, and you don't have to accept the vehicle if you feel like at any point in time you're just going to be like, I'm not going to do what I did to continue to make that. I don't know anybody that gets a promotion at work and then says, well, I'm done. I'm not going to show up. I'm going to be lazy. No, you're going to continue to want to get that. That's a psychological thing, right? You got a taste of making $1,000. Now you want to replicate that. Now you want to make it bigger and go on and go on. Yes, things happen. But again, as a business owner, we talked about this in our previous episodes. What happens when the unimaginable happens? What happens with your business when something comes up? Like, are you positioning yourself to keep that car? Are you positioning yourself to keep the $10,000 a month? What are you doing? This is all personal stuff. She makes a comment about how if you fail at whatever your goals are, they'll tell you, or if you quit, you just didn't work hard enough. I mean, that's somebody's way of putting, they got upset because you left their teams and say you didn't work hard enough. But the truth in this is, the only one I agree with is that you can't work this and have the success that you probably have brought to the table in your mind by working in pockets of time, right? Like, Dayna doesn't work 10 minutes a day out of the 30 days for her business and bring in $1 million a month. Dayna's doing a whole lot more than 10 minutes. She might not do 5 hours straight every day, but she's working more than 10 minutes. She's certainly not making her income by just sitting here doing this and putting a heart on one post and walking away. There is a whole lot more that's going into that. So no, you're not making it in the pockets, but you do have to put in work. Like, we have to show up you have to show up every day. Like, what we do is an accumulation. So I don't know, that's a whole lot of poop.
I know we have to wrap this up because of time. The last thing I do want to say is, at the end of the day, as we also talk about this structure, one of the things that, to me, I'm like, this is my personal whatever, right? Mm-hmm. When I look at people that are doing affiliate marketing, which is valid, it's beautiful. The only person that makes money is that influencer. Nobody else makes money, right? They're the only one that benefits. I mean, you benefit because maybe you've now spent money and you spend it better because you had the recommendation of somebody, right? To me, with this structure, everybody can eat. Everybody can eat, and everybody can eat well. You can eat better than me. It doesn't matter that you came in after me. It doesn't matter that we're on the same team. We all can eat, and we can all thrive and eat well. And to me, that's what makes the difference of this structure. If you're in the right company, if you're in the right business, and if you have the right team. No matter what type of small business you have, you need the right team. You need the right people around you. You need the right people supporting you. You need the right. So again, you own the spa, right? You need the receptionist that's working and doing her job well. Same thing with this business. You need other people that are teaching and educating the same way you are, that are passionate about what you're doing. So if you're struggling and you're like, I don't have a team, build a community. Build a community, build that team. And I promise you, you can be successful in whatever you do. But the skills you learn in this structure of business trickle into any other business. The same foundation, the same thing you need, it transcends. I don't care what business you're in.
Andriana, you got anything else for the people on this muchly heated episode?
All I can say is go out and try the stuff for yourself. I promise you. Well, I can't promise. Let me retract that. Your life will be changed because I can speak to these three of us. Our lives will change when we just bought in, and I mean, just see it for yourself. Don't read stuff like this and then get all in your feelings like I was. Because I'm telling you, I was over here shaking before the beginning of this. I was ready to go in, but I held it back. But just go try it for yourself and see what it does for you and your family.
Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes to everything Dayna and Andriana said. We appreciate y'all hanging out for this long episode, but we all feel passionately about, and it isn't just about network marketing and the company that we're with, but just about small business owning, because we understand what that can give if it's for you and your family and your lifestyle and all the things. Understand why you're coming to the table and then work with that. You can't come to Young Living specifically and say, I don't give a crap about, my wellness. I just want to make the money. You're gonna have a hard time selling products that way. And you're just here, but just be truthful with it. Like Dayna said, and Andriana said, give it a try, give these things a try. You really do have nothing to lose with the right company. We appreciate y'all. We can go in all day. We're gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go because y'all know we talk. All right. We appreciate you 100 times over. Any questions, drop them in the comments. I know we normally kind of prompt you guys and remind you guys to do that, but this was like, we wanted to talk with this one. So if you have any questions, any comments, you want to know specifically about Young Living, anything that either three of us do, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your opinions, your experiences. We'd love to talk about it. And we'd love to get you on. If you just want to have a little chit chat, let us know. Drop it in the comments. Be sure to share this with all your peeps. And we will see you next week, same time, same place, 5 Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. Until then, y'all take care.